What's up, athletes? Welcome back. I know this is a hard topic to discuss today, but I want to share with you that a binge eating problem or an emotional eating problem is not a food problem. We actually start to seek out a more rigid structure or look for a diet because we start to believe that that's the solution to become more restrictive and to have more of a structure and control around food. But athletes, it is a person problem. And that person problem comes from many different sources. It can come from past traumas. It can come from not being able to deal with emotions and not wanting to sit with them. But it can also come from the diet mindset. Having gone through several diets throughout our lifespan creates this feeling of restriction. It creates a scarcity mindset where our brain starts to feel like we've experienced a long period of famine and now it's time to feast. Now, if this resonates with you, athletes, I want to invite you to check out my podcast, Fall in Love with Fitness. I speak a lot about the diet mindset, and I am anti-diet. I don't follow a meal plan, and I don't suggest one. I am an intuitive eater, and I help my athletes get into that space of intuitive eating, where we start to listen to the body and tap into those cues to choose the foods that serve us. Now, this is a journey, and before we get to that place, we have to come to that realization that it's not a food problem, it's a person problem. And the solution is not to search for more diets or rigidity, but instead to learn to sit with our emotions, to make all food neutral, and to not feel guilty or emotional in a negative way around certain foods that we choose. So athletes, remember, if you are new here, to go ahead and subscribe. I am always a resource for you on my podcast, on my YouTube channel, and if you simply email me, sherry@sherryshaban.com. Now today we have an 8-minute killer lower body workout. This is a no-stop workout. We're working for 60 seconds through 8 different movements, and all you're going to need to follow along today is your mat, a medium weight pair of dumbbells, and then be close by to an elevated surface that we're going to use for some step up movements. Now this is a wild card workout. I will show you your first movement. Then going forward, you're going to check this box above to know what is coming up next. All right, athletes, now let's get started. Our first movement, you have the option to use weights, but I'm going to do it just completely body weight. We're going to do a step up back lunge with a curtsy. So I'll show you what it looks like, then let's break it up. So go ahead and place one foot on your elevated surface. You're going to stand all the way up, squeeze the glutes in the top, come down, then go into your back lunge, and then from here, switch into a curtsy. So the back lunge, the leg goes straight back, and for the curtsy, we cross over that midline. All right, athletes, that is your first exercise. Now, if for whatever reason you don't have a step up and you want to just follow along with me here with split squats, amazing. And if you want to do just the step up part, that's also amazing. Remember that consistency drives the results, and we start first with that first movement we can do and then start to progress. All right, are you ready? First movement here in 3, 2, 1, let's go. All the way up, squeeze the glutes, come down, back lunge, step it over, and then come back up. So take your time here and notice that when the right leg is forward, we're working the right side. And then as we drive that right leg back, we now start to work the left side and then go over the curtsy, more left side. That's it, athletes. Keep it up. I'm not going to do that many reps because each rep takes quite some time, but you'll notice that your heart rate is coming up and you're already starting to maybe feel that burn a little bit. That's it. Good work. Keep that body straight. Nice. All right. Maybe this is our last one. And now get ready to switch. All right, and break. So I want to share with you that there were periods in my life where I found myself with a disordered eating pattern. And so that came really from a place of restriction. Being in the fitness world, and I've been doing this for over 20 years now, there comes with it brand new information. And so with that new information, and we start to learn this is the right way to eat, and we shouldn't eat this is bad for us, and this is good. We start to experiment with different diets, different things. There was a moment where I removed all grains because I was paleo. Then there was a moment where I removed all meat because I was a vegan. And so all of these labels gave me more restrictions, and I found myself developing a binge eating pattern simply from that feeling of restriction. And last one. All right, now go ahead and grab one dumbbell, and we're gonna do a ground to overhead. So grab both heads of the dumbbell here. We're gonna go ahead all the way down, ground, and then all the way up. But I really want you to focus on squeezing the glutes really quickly to stand. Good job. So we are doing a press here, but really think about pushing the heels into the floor and then exploding that lower body. That's it. Good job. So athletes, I say this to you because it's actually very common with a lot of fitness individuals or people who are very in tune with their fitness to also fall into that pattern of restriction and find themselves with a disordered eating pattern. And it's one of the topics I'm very passionate about and I speak about often in my podcast because I really want to send that message out to the world that it doesn't serve us to diet. All right, switch. Now we're gonna go ahead and do single leg deadlift. So stand on one foot, you're gonna lean forward and then come back up. Now you have that option to do this right now with or without your weight. Just feel comfortable in your movement, knowing that you have better balance on one side than the other side. And so I want to remind you today about this important topic, about abolishing that diet mindset, and that essentially, if we want to change something, we can't repeat what we've always been doing because that will continue to give us what we've always gotten. So if I want to change my behavior around food and my relationship with food, the answer is not another diet. The answer is really coming down to removing that guilt away from that particular cycle or particular food that I've deemed not good for me, and switch. So I'm talking with you and I'm sharing with you something I'm so passionate about and at the same time losing my balance. So forgive me. Hopefully you're doing a better job than I am right now keeping your balance. And again, if you can, keep that foot off the floor the whole time, amazing. And then to keep that balance, don't do what I'm doing, keeping the eyes all over the place is really hard on the balance. So instead, focus on the spot in front of you and just really be more intentional about the movement. Move through it a little bit slower with control. And again, really focusing on that posterior chain that we just killed on that ground to overhead. Nicely done. In a moment, we're going to grab both dumbbells here and go for a weighted squat. I'm going to place the weights on the shoulder, maybe do one more. All right, so let's go ahead and grab the other dumbbell here. Put both dumbbells on the shoulder. You can use your little elevated surface to sit squat. So squeeze the glutes in that top position, keep the elbows up. And then anytime you're holding your weights, I really recommend to place them entirely on your shoulders. Let your shoulders do all the work. Try not to have your wrists carry the load. It starts to become a little bit painful on the wrists over time, and the goal is not to create another injury. Nicely done. You got this. That's it. Oh man, you're getting there. Get ready now for some buckle unders, my faves. These are one of my favorite ways to get the quads. And break. All right. Now, if you have it in you, place your hands on the floor, or you can use your weight as an elevated surface if you're having a bit of flexibility issues. Nicely done. Come on. Move here with me. That's it. I know. I'm feeling you, athletes. We got this, though. Keep it up. We're going to stand back up for the final movement. We're going to do an alternating lunge with or without weights. I'm going to place my weights back on my shoulder for this last minute. But just check in with yourself right now. How are you feeling? If you're feeling like it should be a body weight lunge, that's totally cool. The more we listen to our body and remember that the wind is showing up, then it becomes more enjoyable and we're able to be more intuitive with what we need. All right, and break. Okay, back is flat. One more time. Let's go. Weight on the shoulder. And now let's alternate that lunge. And so if you're having a hard time bringing your knees gently onto the floor, your weights are too heavy and you're gonna injure your knees. So let that be your gauge right now. That's it, body weight up, body up. Don't let it lean forward. Try and elongate through the crown of the head. And now push off of that forward heel. That's it, you got it. Come on, I'm feeling you. We're getting there. I know, you hear my breath. Breathing heavily into your ears is a sign of my fatigue as well. We're in this together. Come on, let's go. One more, let's sprint through that finish line. And break. All right, amazing. If you feel it in you, repeat one more time or check out the other workout I have for you at the end of this one to complete your training today. Now, if you've liked this, give me a thumbs up. Remember to comment below. Let me know how this went for you today and what else you would like to see. Remember, athletes, if you are new here, to go ahead and subscribe so that we keep training together and holding ourselves accountable to our self-commitment. And doing it together is the best way to push through, especially on the days where we don't feel like it. Now, let's go, refuel, rehydrate, and meet up in the next one. You got this.